I've prided myself, I'm very good at not being starstruck. Summer League 2019, I think, and it's the first time I met LeBron James. And he just looked me so dead in the eye as he shook my hand and was like, I am LeBron. And I was just like,
really?
Yeah, you are.
Hey guys, welcome to my new show, Breathe Through It. My name is Monique Billings.
And my name is Aloni Ford.
We're so excited to have Kendra Andrews. You've probably seen her on ESPN covering the Golden State Warriors, Unrivaled, college basketball, and now the WNBA.
And she is truly a rising star in sports journalism.
In this episode, we'll get to know Kendra a little bit more as we set our intentions and go through a little light yoga flow. Let's get into it. Kendra, I'm so excited to have you as our guest on Breathe Through It. On this show, we are going to go through our intentions. We're gonna go through a light yoga flow, and then we're gonna go through a grounding session. But throughout the show, we just wanna get to know more of you. I'll start with intentions. My intention is to create impactful content that makes people feel good through this show. Aloni, what's your intention?
My intention is to breathe more, breathe through it all.
Good. Ooh, my intention, I think, is just to let go of the things I cannot control and just be here for the experience. Take it all in.
Yay, okay, let's get into this yoga flow. Let's start in cat-cow. So cat-cow, tabletop position, and this is like opening up your back. We're gonna start with cat, which is rounding of the back. Breathe through it. Kendra, you're usually the interviewer. How does it feel being the interviewee?
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
Are
I'm not usually the one getting asked the questions, and it's funny because I think there's a lot of pressure, and so now I understand how my interview subjects feel when I'm talking to them.
So what's your go-to exercises since you're not into yoga?
Yes, I'm not a big yogi, but my dad swears by yoga, so maybe this is my sign to get more into it. But I love going to the gym as many days a week as I can, doing lifting and stuff. And then I've also sprinkled in some Pilates because that's like that's the it thing, right? I've tried reformer Pilates. There's so many great reformer studios in the city, and I recently did my first heated mat Pilates, which I've never sweat more in my entire life.
Intense. Let's get into child's pose.
Child's pose. Favorite one.
Is it? Okay. The non-yogi has a favorite yoga pose. What inspired you to get into journalism?
You know, it's funny. I grew up in Oakland and the Bay Area, as you will very soon. I think you already know a little bit, but you'll learn even more quickly now that you're here. It has such a rich sports culture. And so I grew up with the Warriors, the A's, the Giants, the Niners, the Raiders, the Sharks, and
all the teams.
All of the teams. And I loved writing and I just loved storytelling. And I was actually watching a Warriors game with my dad, and they had recently hired a woman named Roz Goldon-Woode.
Shout out to Sis Roz. We love her.
And I had never really seen a woman who looked like me on the sidelines before. And I was like, wait, she gets paid to do that? Like, I want to get paid to do that. And then I went to college and I just studied journalism and I fell in love with it. And
I love that.
I knew I wanted it to be centered around sports, and somehow we did it.
Here. That's incredible.
So how do you adapt your storytelling when you're covering certain topics and depending on who you're talking to?
Yeah, I try and do as much homework as I can before interviewing because everyone is so different depending on what sport they play, what their team is, what their background is.
Yes.
And so I try to develop my skills and my style as a interviewer and reporter, but I mean, there's definitely some adaptation with every interview because every person is different given their background, the sport that they play, the city that they're in. And so I try and do as much homework on whoever I'm talking to as possible and learn as much as I can to make them comfortable and you know, make sure that they know I know what I'm talking about too. But in terms of sports, and it's interesting now having covered so much men's basketball, now transitioning into covering more women's basketball, I've had to learn, this is, like there's so many stories that haven't been told in women's basketball. And also the league has been covered in such a specific way. How can I help move forward the way the league is covered? Something that I'm trying to do as I enter the W space more is like, I want to cover you guys the exact same way that I covered the NBA, because I think that that's what that's what you guys deserve. It's maybe it's critiquing a little here or there, maybe it's hard reporting. It's also celebrating, because when we want to get to a place where all athletes are covered and viewed equitably, like we have to do that with our storytelling as well. Wow. And so that's what I'm really excited about doing as I enter the space a little bit more.
So I was just about to say, I feel like a rookie on this new team going into year 8, totally not a rookie, but you're going to be covering the new team. So I guess we're rookies together.
Yes, we are.
We're going to go into mountain pose. We're breathing through it. We're going to go to the right. Just a nice light stretch.
Ooh, I cracked.
I want to know, what does your preparation look like?
Ooh, lots of reading and lots of research and lots of watching games, I think, is a good source of preparation. I try and educate myself as much as possible, because I'm obviously not playing. So there's only so much that I can say because I'm not out there on the court. But I like to try and read stories written about the athletes that I'm about to interview.
Nice.
Or watch interviews that they've done, podcast episodes that they've been a part of. And then I always try and come up with questions that build off of maybe something that I read, because I don't want to just use someone else's reporting. My freshman year, I took a broadcasting class, and I was interviewing someone, and my professor said, you're not allowed to write down any questions.
Oh my God.
He said, you can write down topics of question, or topics that you want to talk about, but you need to listen with your ears and not just run through like a checklist of questions.
Let's go chair pose.
Okay.
So chair, oh, you guys know it. My yogis.
I'm just following along. You guys are
You're doing excellent.
We're only going to hold these poses. You guys are really impressing me. We're holding these poses a lot longer than I intended, but you guys are doing so good.
We're trying to keep up with
I
you, Mo.
know.
So Kendra, you travel
Yes.
just as much, if not more, as us professional athletes. How do you find balance to not feel like burnout in your life?
It's fun. I always tell people, something I bring to the table is incredible airline status and hotel points. Marriott is, yes, funding those vacations, but it's so real and it's so hard. It's something I always told NBA players when they complained about travel. So I said, you guys are walking on your private plane.
Yeah.
You guys aren't flying commercial. Like, you have it easy. I try to stay very grounded in a routine when I'm home, and that helps negate burnout. So that's, waking up not too early, but definitely not too late. That's getting in some kind of movement in the morning. It's, I mentioned I like the gym. I do some Pilates. I get my nails done every 2 weeks, and that's like my me time, right? Get my hair done, like those little things. I should get more massages and facial. I do a monthly facial. Just those little things to kind of take care of yourself. I think on the road, though, it's really hard, and there's some days that you have to decide, do I want to eat? Do I want to take a nap? Do I want to, how do I want to spend this little bit of free time?
Yeah.
Do I sleep on a plane or do I work on the plane? You get a little bit used to it, but I do always tell young people coming into the journalism space, the lifestyle is the one thing you can never prepare for, and you just don't know it until you're going through it. But I think that routine when I'm home is the main thing that I let kind of refuel me and recharge me.
I actually recently saw on your Instagram, I think you did like a day in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm always curious about seeing people's day in the lives and what their routines look like. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into downward dog. And we're gonna go pigeon pose. So 3-legged dog on the right, swoop it, and this is for the hips.
Oh, this is my favorite stretch. I have the worst hip flexors ever.
I love pigeon pose. I can take a nap here.
Okay, so I want to get to the juicy part. I want to know about one of your most surreal moments or an unforgettable moment in your career.
Okay.
Please tell all.
Yes. Okay, I have 2 that come to mind instantly. I've prided myself, I'm very good at not being starstruck or being
good,
right? The first time I ever met Steph Curry, I was actually in high school. I was shadowing a journalist, and I was 18 years old, and I was in his way. And he just put his hand on me. He said, "Excuse me," and I turned around and I saw it was him. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you know, this was in 2016 or something. So it was right after they won their first title. And the other time I was starstruck or just kind of lost my words was Summer League 2019, I think, and it was the first time I met LeBron James. And he just looked me so dead in the eye as he shook my hand and was like, I am LeBron. And I was just like,
really?
Yeah, you are. It's so true. You really are LeBron.
Oh, I love that.
The other moment that kind of is more, I think, special and unique is the first time I ever got to do television with my sister.
Oh, yes.
She also works for ESPN. She hosts our NBA show, our daily NBA show, our basketball show. And it was my first day at ESPN. I didn't see her, but I heard her in my ear, and it was just such a crazy moment because this is what we joked about as a kid, and like our dad kind of used to say, oh, we're gonna monetize our dinner conversations about basketball.
And here we are.
And here we are. And so that was a very special moment for me too.
Talk about bringing it into fruition.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, we finished our flow, y'all.
Ooh,
How are y'all feeling?
I feel good. I like
Very
I can
limber.
Stay here
Yes,
forever.
I know. No, same. We can just hit one more downward dog. We'll flow it out with an upward dog. All right, let's get into some grounding. How are y'all feeling after the yoga flow?
I feel good.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
feeling stretched out.
You're
Okay.
really good, Mo.
Yes.
Thank you.
When you start teaching classes, let me know.
Exactly.
I'll come to
We'll be
you.
first to
That's
sign up.
my goal. I'm going to be certified very soon.
Yes.
Every time I step on the mat, it's just a time for me to reflect. We already set our intentions and just really become in tune with myself. I hope you guys are feeling the same way. Kendra, earlier you mentioned people who inspire you, and I wanted to know, why is mentorship so important to you?
I don't think I would be here in my position without the mentors I had. And so now as I'm put in a position to help other people or mentor other people, it's something that I just think you have to pay it forward. And I mentioned the first time that I met Steph Curry, and that was, I was shadowing a local journalist who I reached out to and said, hey, I want to just dip my toes in. And she said, come along. And she took me to all these things. And it's great now. Some of my coworkers are my mentors. Mark Spears is a Hall of Fame reporter who I met when I was 16.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he still texts me now, for work, but also just checking in.
Isn't that the best? Like when your mentors see you shining.
It's the absolute best. And I try to do the same people who I see a little bit of myself in. I try and take under my wing. I'm actually very excited. You'll probably meet her, Mo, because I'm having a high school from my alma mater come shadow me at some Valkyries things. And so just to kind of pay it forward and help that next generation.
You know who does a really good job of that? Quick shout out, LaChina Robinson. Yes. I notice her. She brings young girls to games, and that's something that I noticed. So I love that. That's cool.
I want to know what excites you most about the Valkyries this season.
Oh man, there's a lot, right? I think anytime there's something, again, unknown, there's just something so great to just be witness history and be a part of it. And one thing I will say, again, the sports culture in the Bay Area is so rich. I don't think there's
You guys have 10 teams, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But the fact that and we have a women's soccer team in the Bay Area with Bay FC, but I can't think of a better market for a women's basketball team. The way that the Bay Area celebrates women and inclusion, and it just makes so much sense for one. So I'm really honestly excited to see how the city shows up for the Valkyries, and the fact that you guys are playing in Chase Center, the fact that you have incredible facilities in Oakland. It's the tip top that I'm assuming that you could ask for as a professional athlete. And so I'm just
can't
excited.
wait.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
The games are gonna be lit. I just know they're gonna be so fun.
So from what I've heard, they've already sold out season tickets.
It's amazing.
I heard that they're selling quicker than the Warriors, which is super interesting. Yeah, people are going to be showing up. Super excited for that.
People, before the roster was announced, before the coach was announced, before the team name was announced, people were buying gear and swag and asking where they could get their season tickets. It's kind of unheard of.
Shows how much demand in women's basketball is
It's so true.
And it's so crazy because that has not always been the case.
I can
So
only
true.
imagine.
You brought up facilities and just the environment, the love. My first couple years in the league, nothing like that, y'all. I didn't even have a locker room my first couple years. So I'm
crazy.
carrying my shoes around, going to and from practice.
Wow.
So you're in
carrying all my
heaven right
things.
now.
Oh, I'm so blessed. I'm so excited.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's a new experience for me as well. Wrapping up, what is something that you would tell young Kendra?
Ooh, you know, I think I would, it sounds like so simple, but I think younger Kendra would want to hear it, is that everything's gonna work out. I was not a very good student. I was diagnosed with dyslexia early on, and I struggled in school, and everything always felt so hard. I would just tell her, like, breathe through it, like, take a deep breath.
Yes.
Everything is, like, you are going to end up where you're supposed to end up, and maybe some turns aren't gonna be what you expect, but surround yourself with the right people, go into it with the right intentions, set your intentions, and like everything will work out the way that it should.
Mic drop, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. You were literally perfect guest. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Breathe Through It with Aloni, Kendra, and myself, Mo Billings.